Welcome, folks. I am so delighted to be interviewing Maija Han. And Maija is just a force to be reckoned with. That's how I think about you, Maija. And the reason why, just to let you know, for those of you who don't know who Maija is, Maija is with the Children's Health Defense Florida. She is also the vice president of React for Hope.org, which is a very important charity for those families affected by autism. And she's also led the Florida Maha Coalition here in Florida for legislation to protect families, to increase what we need for families here, especially those families that are affected by autism. So, Maha, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm so good, Raj. It's great to be with you. I'm excited about this project you have going on here in Florida.
I so appreciate it. And for those of you who don't know, Maija and her group were the first and fastest to move with having a town hall meeting for Reclaim campaign. We now have 14 of those town halls on the schedule, so you definitely started something. And
Yes,
two of them came out of the meeting that you and Joanne Young hosted in Brevard County. So grateful for
great.
that. So for the folks who don't know, can you tell? Let's start by letting people know about the work that you're doing with some of these organizations that you're working with.
Yeah. Well, it's all about Maha here. I'm a Maha mom. I've been caring about children's health for 30 years now, and really excited that this movement has moved all the way up into Washington, D.C. now with Robert F. Kennedy heading HHS. So, really, here in Florida, I am just leading the boots on the ground to try to ensure that Maha agenda gets instilled here in our state legislature, and that the people of Florida really know what has been going on behind closed doors and the captured regulatory agencies, and to really be informed about the variety of different toxins that our children and the public are being exposed to, we're not being protected from, so that people can make informed decisions about their health.
This is such a timely thing. I have friends and family, some of which don't necessarily share the urgency that I have with regard to our election processes. But when it comes to health, this is a thing that transcends political parties, economic divides, racial silos. And MAHA, for those of you who don't know, is Make America Healthy Again. So grateful, Maija, to the work that you're doing and for leading a rising group of leaders throughout the state of Florida. I wanted to chat with you about what I mentioned at the top, which was that town hall meeting that we had in one of your colleagues' locations in Brevard. So tell us, I came in and you had a great group, and then I left. But what was it like for the people that were in that town hall meeting? What was their response? What happened? What's your candid take on what happened?
Well, we have a great community of people that are engaged, they're inquisitive, they really want to know what's going on. Wonderful Joanne, she runs this Truth Fest here, and once a month she brings in speakers to educate our community. And we often have quite a good turnout of people. And we were excited, Raj, when we heard what you were working on at the statewide initiative. I'm absolutely passionate that what you have going on is very important for all citizens that want to be engaged and want to have change here in Florida, to make sure that the people that represent the people are representing the people, and not those special interests. So such an important initiative that, in fact, I was going to speak this at this town hall prior to hearing about your initiative. And I said, nope, we've got to get Raj in there. The people need to know what he's got going on. So I was happy and thrilled to have you come out. And we had a great turnout, and the people were absolutely thrilled to hear what you have going on. And I loved that you engaged the community and they got to speak and come up with some ideas to talk about some of their concerns, and then some of the things that they would love to see coming forward. and then actually developing a plan on the spot that night of how we were in this county going to move forward. So it was such a dynamic and exciting evening, and to see that all these people were just inspired, fired up, and ready to get active. So it was a great event.
It really was, and a lot of you guys may not have been there that are watching this. We talked about 7 objectives that have come up for the state of Florida, and for every state really, because now we have people from other states that are wanting to replicate this in their location, and put their own unique fingerprint on it. But this has come about, these 7 objectives have come about, for those of you who are not familiar, with the escalating frustration from people like us in how the opposition is getting better and better, more organized, more choreographed, better funding, and more brazen about blocking the initiatives that you've heard on this call. What does that? Anything that is for the family, things that will increase and protect parental rights, things that will allow people to have better information about what they're eating, and more disclosure about drugs that are being injected in food, including, my friend said, the ingredients that are in the vaccine. There's an effort to put that in food. So there were these things that continue to frustrate people who want transparency across the board, who want accountability across the board. And so we said, instead of doing the same thing we've been doing as before, let's escalate our game as well. And so what that looks like is people getting together throughout the state in their counties and increasing the capability of their fundraising strategies. Why? So that they can get better candidates who can win races to represent them and get those people in office. And thirdly, combine the different voices within the county going across these different camps. So we have the election folks, the health freedom folks, the folks that are working with children's needs, Second Amendment, rural law, bring all those people together so that their voice, which means their political force, their political influence, their ability to move forward their initiatives is multiplied. And that is what we're calling Reclaim Campaign. So we talked about that and a host of other things. So very happy to hear what you just said, Maija, and tell us a little bit about what the group in Brevard is planning on doing, because you guys are about 4 hours away from the conference, but that is not stopping your people. What are they planning on doing?
We are saying we are going to show up to the conference. We're getting a bus. Joanne is organizing a bus. We're all going to have a party bus. We're going to head out to you guys across the state, and it's going to be a great time. So it'll give us an opportunity, the few hours for us to drive over on the bus, to strategize more, to get our organization more together, and planning and funding and all these different pet projects to raise money. And then on the way home, I'm sure we'll be even more inspired, more ideas, and we'll get off to a good start come after the conference.
And for those of you who are watching this, I want you to also know that within this group that Maija just talked about, I met volunteer leaders, and those leaders are actually now contributing content for the conference syllabus. Ruth, for example, who is an expert in biblical citizenship, she's a powerhouse with the American Liberty Bell. I think I'm saying that correctly. She is now going to be one of the speakers at our breakout sessions. And then Sally, another lady that I met over there, who has really done a deep dive in figuring out where the money flows, how the money is raised and then covertly dispersed to buy our government influence off. She is now sharing information that we're putting out on our newsletter. So the reason I'm sharing all of these things, the reason we did this video, is if you are watching this video, I would very much like you to consider hosting a town hall like the folks that have already signed up for. I'd also like you to consider meeting with us in one of the existing town halls. But most of all, I'd want you to look at the strategy that is Reclaim Campaign and see if there are pieces in there that align with your existing goals, and see if you can use some of that strategy to massively multiply the effectiveness of your people in preserving the republic. So to learn more about that, go to reclaimcampaign.com. In a minute, I'm going to ask Maija to share her organization's websites, the ones that I mentioned previously. But for reclaimcampaign.com, on the homepage, you'll see the strategy, you'll see the goals. You'll also see a link to the town hall where you can check that out. You can also see a link to purchase a ticket for this event, which is on July 26, 2025. But before we leave, this is all about empowering in strategic, measurable, actionable ways the volunteers throughout the state. So with that in mind, Maija, if you would just share any of the organizations that you are with, and for people who didn't watch the beginning, Maija is with the Children's Health Defense in Florida. She's the vice president of reactforhope.org, which is an important group focusing on charity efforts for autism, and she has already led the Florida Maija Coalition with legislation efforts here in Tallahassee, and I know they're going to be coming back to Tallahassee along with us. Now we're having a shared common thread to really make stuff happen. So please share a little bit about those organizations and their websites and how people get in touch with that.
Yes, yes. So Children's Health Defense, if you guys aren't familiar, it's one of the leaders in the world giving you evidence-based, true factual information on topics of health and the environmental toxins that are hurting us. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the founder of this organization, and the one thing he wanted to make sure is that everything that we published was evidence-based and can hold up in a court of law. So I can tell you hands down that this is a very important organization that you can find the most valid information on our website, childrenshealthdefense.org. And our chapter here in Florida, if you want to get involved, we're always seeking volunteers. We are always seeking people to support and get on our monthly newsletter so you can find out what's happening here in this state, not just nationally around the world. If you go to FL for Florida, fl.childrenshealth.org. And then if you are compassionate about saving children, those that have been vaccine injured and harmed by many toxins, autism is a massive financial burden on families. And we are one of the few autism organizations, nonprofits, that acknowledge and do not gaslight parents who say my child regressed after a vaccine. We try to give these parents validation, information, and guide them towards true health by finding practitioners, functional health practitioners that can help heal their children, give them the best outlook on life. These treatments are very, very expensive. Most families cannot afford them. They're on Medicaid, they're barely treading water, and we do whatever we can to help support those families. So we're all 100% volunteers, just a charity organization seeking to help these families. So if you go to reactforhope.org, please donate, please support. All that money goes towards treatments for children. I do want to point out, Raj, and to everybody out there that does care about this Maija movement, does care about children's health, the reason why I am absolutely passionate about what Raj is doing here is because when we walk the halls of Florida, and we think that Florida is a leader in health freedom, and we love our governor, we love our Surgeon General, but our legislature really let us down. This session really opened our eyes that we have a lot of work to do. We still have very captured lawmakers in the state. Representative Groff actually put out a bill to make the pesticide companies liability free, so that when farmers and consumers are poisoned by their pesticides, that they cannot be sued. And Representative Groff was put in that seat by Big Chemical. He was the CEO of chemical companies before he's come into our state legislature. These are the kind of people that are not working for the people. We need to make sure that the people that are representing us have our true best interests and not big industry. So it's time to take matters in our own hands. And I'm absolutely thrilled that Raj in this campaign, the Reclaim campaign, is here to make a difference in our state. And I hope it does spread across the country and that we can take back our nation and actually have this republic represented the way it's supposed to be by the people. So thank you, Raj. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please join us.
You're so welcome, Maija, and thank you for ending with those what's the word? The facts that you just shared. It's a wake up call. You have to know. You have to know what's actually being done behind closed doors. And I'll just just jump on what you said because I think it's important for people to know. And we're going to wrap up with this. But there were some bills that were written. In fact, a lot of the folks that work with Maija were behind these bills, and it all they were trying to do is require parents to be notified when certain medical procedures were offered to their minor kids. The bill was wanting to just let parents know that let them know about any woke, sexualized, politicized content was put in front of their kids that are minors. And here in Florida, Republican, supermajority Republican legislation, that bill got defeated. Meanwhile, you see the bill that you just referred to. So, my friends, serious wake up call. We have a narrow window. Please take advantage of that. You can see the links that Maija just put. You can see those below over here. So after this video, just rewind it. Please visit those organizations. And I'm going to add one more, and that is We the People Healthcare, which is actually where I am filming this from. We're in a building. The other side of this building is a full blown health care facility. If you're curious about these red bricks, these are actually salt bricks. It's a salt bricks. The whole conference room is built with salt bricks, which really helps you keep calm, what you need to keep calm when you've got crazy things like what we'll be talking about happening with legislation. But they are another force to be reckoned with as well. They're right here in Venice. So you'll see the link to them as well here. Please check them out here in Venice. They are actually putting a documentary together to bring the word out about children that are affected by autism. So there's a lot of good work being done. You can see that. We must come together so that this good work cannot be blocked. We have to smash the things that are stopping us from pushing forward this transparent, accountable legislation. So, with that, Maija, so great to see you. I hope to have you on again very soon. Thanks for the work you're doing, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.